Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Matthew Bellman, Ryan Kostrowski here representing the DFS 5-pack. We talked a little daily fantasy sports earlier. We're going to pivot over to the world of sports betting right now. Decided we're going to go through a few picks today. Yesterday, I had two picks I liked a lot. Talked about the Grizzlies over the Mavs in the first quarter, and that was horrible. Like, it couldn't have been more wrong about anything in the entire world. I could say the sky is red, and it wouldn't be as wrong as the way the Grizzlies played last night. And then I also really liked the Washington Wizards to beat the Lakers straight up, and that one worked out well. So I regretted picking the wrong one to talk about. So for the day, we figure we'll dabble in a few of them that we kind of like.
Yeah, there's a couple plays I like a lot, so excited to break it down with you.
Now, we haven't talked these over, so we might agree, we might disagree. I think the whole point of the show on this is for you guys kind of make your own decisions on what you like, but to get our points and get our opinions on this one, because as a lot of you guys know, we don't always agree on everything, and that's okay.
No doubt about it.
We do agree on this, though. If you are going to do some sports betting, we would encourage you to take a look at our good friends over at Jazz Sports. If you guys don't mind using the promotional code of 5-pack, just like this, if you sign up, if you make an initial deposit, let me know. We can get you a free 5-pack membership to go along with it. They'll give you all the straight rollovers and everything like that, the same deposit matches and stuff like that. We've had really good responses from our customers working with them over there as far as withdrawing money same day. They've been in business for over 20 years, and everything updates very quickly over here.
No doubt about it, man.
So there's a handful of games tonight, well, 9 games to be exact. Did you have like an absolute favorite? Do you have like a bet of the day that you really, really like?
Yeah, I mean, I only like a couple games, so I like both of them quite a bit. But my favorite is going to be Sacramento over Brooklyn. I think that they're very live to win this game, and I think they definitely cover the 6. So I don't know if this was a game that you had circled. I highly doubt you like Sacramento here, but do you like Brooklyn?
So I don't like Sacramento in the sense that like they've losers of 7 straight. I expect them to snap out of it at some point, but I don't have a specific reason why it would be today. I think the counterpoint to that and what I think you're looking at, what I can definitely get on board with is Brooklyn is really good. They are 10-2 against teams above 500. However, they do have a tendency to take lightly inferior teams. I know you're big on pounding teams coming off of a long road trip, and they're coming off of an epically great long road trip. So I see why you like them, and it doesn't surprise me at all why you like them. They have played down to their opponents.
No doubt. And this line is small, man. Like, I think this line says volumes of what Vegas thinks here. It's almost begging you to take Brooklyn. They're very small favorites here. Again, it opened at like 7.5 all the way down to 6. I mean, before I looked at the lines and I was like kind of handicapping myself on what I thought the lines would be, I thought Sacramento, I thought like 9.5, 10 here. It's like 4 points off. And while, a lot of people might be, just slam Brooklyn here, how I'm wired. I'm taking the not so fast approach. I'm also, a Sacramento fan. They have not played well recently, but I'm with you. I expect it to turn around. And while there's no like exact reason I have for tonight, this is a big game. They kind of just got embarrassed against Milwaukee. Anytime you face Brooklyn, it's a get up spot. And like you said, this is a good time to catch Brooklyn coming back from that long, successful road trip, sitting a little fat and happy. I like Sacramento a lot here. I fully recognize Brooklyn's a better team, but I think Sacramento could win this game. So I'll take them +6, and I'll take them a little bit on the money line.
One thing for me that could change my thought process on this one is some of the injuries they're waiting on. And like if Jeff Green's all of a sudden out, I like that a lot for the Sacramento because he's a little bit of a glue guy. Yeah, your best players are James Harden, Kyrie. KD's not live tonight or anything like that, but he's a little bit of a glue guy. The flip side of that is for the Kings, if Harrison Barnes plays, I like them a lot better. He's also kind of like their veteran leader. He's a little bit of their glue guy as well. He's also a pretty good wing defender who I think, while he can't stop Harden, I think he's a guy that could at least make his life a little bit more difficult.
I'm happy they got Holmes back, but I'm with you. I'd prefer if they got Barnes back as well.
Yeah, okay. As far as the first game of the day, Hawks Cavaliers, that's just one for me. I have no interest. Cleveland's looked so bad lately that I can't bet on them with any confidence. However, I don't trust Atlanta, and the 7.5 points seems about right to me. That's just one I completely abstain from.
That's actually my other game that I like a lot tonight, and I'm just going to go right back to the Cleveland well. The more I look at this game, the more I like Cleveland here. They're getting talked about all over. Obviously, they have not played well. But that's okay because all it takes is tonight. They're getting a lot of points at home. This is a big trap spot for Atlanta. Just played Boston twice in Boston. Now they play Boston again tomorrow night at home. I mean, this is the definition of a trap spot. I think Cleveland snaps their 10-game losing streak tonight. I think they beat the Hawks.
Well, I'll be with you on this one. I like picking Cleveland to win better here than I do just for them to cover the 7.5. Because in my mind, like if they don't play well, they might just get rolled again. But if they play well, I like taking the plus 245 right there.
We will always differ on this because you never
Yep.
bet the spreads and I always bet the spreads. So
Yep.
I will put a little bit on the money line, but it's like it's free points as far as I look at it. Like I think Cleveland could win this game, so why wouldn't I take the 7.5, 8 points? That's just how I look at it. I'll also sprinkle a little bit on the money line, understanding that they've lost double-digit games in a row and they are the worst team here. However, they outscored OKC when they had Sexton, Garland, Allen, and Okoro on the floor. I think you see a lot of those four guys tonight. And again, this is a trap spot for Atlanta. So I think Cleveland takes advantage here and ends their skid.
Atlanta has played well recently, but it was like a week ago that I pounded New York over them as like a underdog because they just were not playing well. So they're not a foolproof team, right? Like they definitely have errors. You could definitely see Atlanta playing terrible here.
You'll get on board with this. Like Atlanta should win this game. Like no doubt about it. They should obviously win this game. But they're not a team that's immune to losing games they should win. That's all I'll say.
They're not immune to losing games, just period.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not. They are far from a complete product. Now they're probably trying to sprinkle Rondo back in tonight, and while that may sound like a good thing, could easily mess with their chemistry.
No doubt about it. So, I mean, listen, I only like 2 games tonight. We hit on my second one, so it's all you going forward.
Well, I liked it better at 3 than I do 4. I like the Magic to cover. I don't expect much out of the Pistons. Now you took out one of your punchers too with no Wayne Ellington tonight. And not that Wayne Ellington's a difference maker, but he's one of those guys that can get hot from 3 and kind of keep you relevant in a game. Now he's no longer there. So I do like the Magic to cover in this spot. I don't like that. I don't know. I don't love bets like that, but I expect the Magic to kind of win this game fairly handily. I've been giving the Pistons a lot of respect all year for fighting. I like what the Magic are selling right now, and I like the fact that they are playing well, and they also need wins because they were a playoff team last year. I don't think they make the playoffs this year, but in their heart of hearts, they know they need games, and this is a very, very easy game to win.
I was going to say that when we're talking about them from a DFS perspective. I agree with you. Like, they just beat this Detroit team. This is a winnable game for a team that made the playoffs last year. I never love favorites, but
Me either.
I think Orlando definitely wins this game. I'd be more interested personally in maybe parlaying Orlando money line like -170 with another small money line I liked. If there was that out there, I haven't really looked into it, but just something to consider.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. As far as the next game, the Warriors Magic, I have no interest, or the Warriors Knicks, no interest on that one. I don't have any real set feelings about how that game's going to work out. I completely abstain from that one.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Same thing goes for the Celtics and the Mavericks. The Celtics are reeling. In my heart of hearts, they're still the better team, especially with no Kleba, no Porzingis tonight. But they are just not the Celtics team right now. And so it's another one. I just don't have any strong feelings about that game either way.
Same. Should be a good one, though.
I want to like Philly so bad right here after losing to the Raptors. The flip side of that is, though, like Philly is just not the same team on the road. If this game was in Philadelphia, I would even expect them to roll. But yeah, this has been going on for a while now. Why, when they're away from home, they can't play well? I don't understand it. But they are, once again, very good at home, not very good on the road.
Agreed. I want to like Philly here too, but this line also seems kind of trappy. Like it's begging you to take Philly. I also think Philly wins this game, but I'm not willing to bet my money on it.
Yeah, same here. That's almost essentially exactly how I feel. I was getting really high and mighty on Philly for a little while today. And then I looked at that road record again. I'm like, you know what? It does seem a bit trappy. Why they can't seem to play as well on the road, I don't understand it for the life of me, but they just don't.
Agreed.
Timberwolves, Bucks, nothing here for me either.
Same.
Okay. I do, however, like the Blazers against the Nuggets. I expect this to be a competitive game. And this is where, for me, I kind of like playing this bet the way you like to play it, where putting some money on both, putting the Blazers to cover the 6, but also to win this game straight up.
I get it. I don't have a great feel for this game, but it checks a lot of my boxes. So
I
I
look at it this
understand
way: the
why you like
Blazers,
it.
the Blazers are 10-6 on the road. The Nuggets are 8-6 at home. Okay. Again, this one it just doesn't seem right to me. I look at this as a very close matchup. I'll even say this: the Blazers are 18-12 this year. The Nuggets are 16-14. I feel like in a lot of ways they're resting on the laurels of how the Nuggets played last year. I know it checks the box for you of the Nuggets coming home from a long road trip right there. Blazers coming off 2 straight losses. They lost a tough one to the Wizards, who are playing really well right now, and then got rolled by a good Suns team last night. So I like the Blazers in this spot, and there's a variety of bets I could put on Portland right here. Is one of my favorite places to go for the night.
I get that, man. I'm not as excited about it as you are, but it's not like I like Denver or anything. I completely get it.
Yeah,
I completely get it.
yeah. I thought it would cross off at least some of the boxes that you like to check. And then the last game, I like the Wizards to cover the 12 on this one, which again, it's not a normal bet that I like to make. I don't have any faith in them winning. So while I love the money line right there, in my heart of hearts, I just don't think the Wizards are going to win this one, right? They're 12-point dogs for a reason, but that seems awfully high to me. The Wizards are playing good basketball right now. I still don't. I need Russell Westbrook to play because I need them to have another good player in here. And even though we both think he's going to play, I don't trust it quite yet. But I do want to give the Wizards credit, who just beat the Lakers, the Blazers, the Nuggets, and the Celtics. I give you no credit for beating the Rockets, though, Wizards, because everybody does.
Yeah, man. I'll say this: the reason I'm scared off by the Wizards here is like they were down 14 at half last night, kind of teetering. Came back on a weak, like you've mentioned, a weak Lakers squad right now. Like that's not going to happen tonight. If they get down like that, I think this game's over, and I think you could see them get rolled here. So I don't know, man. The line is bigger than it should be. This is another one where like I don't know. The Clippers are continue to get a lot of credit. I mean, even the other day, I liked them against Brooklyn. Brooklyn won that game straight up. 12 points is a lot. They're the biggest dog on the board, which is pretty crazy.
I know. I've had a nice run with underdogs lately.
Like,
Um,
this is why, like, this is a good example, though. I've been kind of waiting all day. Like, here's why I think the Brooklyn Sacramento line is tiny. The Wizards have won 5 in a row, and Brooklyn just beat the Clippers in LA. Like the Wizards are 12-point underdogs, and Sacramento, who's playing like shit, is only a 6-point underdog. Like that seems off to me. Do you agree?
Yeah, it does seem off. If you had asked me, and I actually think I'm pretty good at guessing the spreads on most of these games and the totals. I
Agree.
would have been way off on this one. I would have said 10 or 11 points.
Yeah, like so. You're referring to the Kings game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like I would have thought the Wizards would be like 9-point underdogs here, like not over double digits. Personally, they were just like I can't remember. I thought they were like 7-point underdogs last night in LA. Covered that game, won that game. Now they're 12-point. Like that's just I don't know. I'm not sure how to make of it. But what was your point? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Uh, 12 points seems like a lot, but in the modern NBA, it just isn't.
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's where this one scares me. Um, I almost feel, if anything, I would put a small bet on the Wizards to win the game, knowing how well it pays out. But I don't have enough thought process on that one. Also, I don't have a monster bankroll where I make like 13 or 14 different bets every single day. For me,
Sure.
I'll mostly be pounding the Trailblazers today, in a variety of different ways, probably. And then also, I do think you might, like you said, include in some small parlays with the Magic covering the 4 on this one, just because I feel pretty confident in the Magic today, which that actually scares me too. Because why should you ever be confident in the Magic?
Yeah, fair enough. They're not a good team, but
No,
Detroit
they're
is
not.
obviously not good either. And what I'll say about the other thing about Washington, just throwing this out there, like they played last night. I think this is their third and four nights.
Overtime.
Overtime. If they're down like 20 going into the fourth, I could see all their main players resting.
Oh, for sure.
Which
Definitely.
a 12-point spread that matters.
Well, that's probably what's ultimately keeping me off from that one. Is I like the idea of Washington covering, but I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm also not at all flabbergasted. Like if I put money down right now And then I check in 2 hours and they decide Westbrook's not playing today, in which case I just have very little faith in the Wizards. Not that Russell Westbrook is what he used to be, but he is the second best player on that team. And he is, he carried a lot of the load last night for Bradley Beal, probably more because he was ball hogging it. But in the fourth quarter, Beal was chilling a lot until really, really needed, while Westbrook was kind of, handling a lot of the big duties.
If they were playing a lot of other teams, I think that you made a point on the members only video for the DFS stuff that maybe they're just playing really well right now and they could they could come in hot, and I agree with that. The problem is though, as good as the Wizards might be, and we both thought they were going to be better going into the year, like a playoff team in the East. I thought for sure, they're still not going to be as good as the Clippers are, no matter what. You know what I mean? Not even close. Mm-hmm. So they're the worst team here, even at their best.
I've had a hot run with underdogs lately. But there's also the flip side of it is, I bet Washington to beat the Lakers last night. That could have easily worked out the other way. I bet Washington to beat the Nuggets the other day. That could have worked out the other way. I bet Washington to beat the Blazers the other day. That game was not that wasn't super, super close. I know it's coming to an end real soon. So I'm trying not to get overzealous and just feel like you said yesterday, you're not smarter than Vegas.
Yeah, and I'll say this, yesterday there was a game that I was thinking we talked about, the Charlotte game. They were winning at half.
Yeah, looked good for a hot minute.
Yeah, they were winning at half. Even at the end of the third, it was a tie game. Proceeded to get outscored by 21 in the fourth.
Yeah, that was I was thinking about you because I was watching part of that game. And it definitely looked like Charlotte was live to win the game. And then, I don't know, I went to the bathroom and all of a sudden they were down by 18 points. I'm like, yep, that's the Jazz right there for you. A great 3-point shooting team that got ungodly hot later in the game.
No doubt about it.
That's the hard part for me. That's one of the bigger issues for me. I'm trying to pick out a spread, a 12-point game, Washington against the Clippers is, 12 points seems like a lot. But man, we see teams score 8 points in a minute like that. And it's just, it feels like a lot, but it just isn't. I was thinking about the same thing when the Thunder played the Cavs the other day. And the Cavs were up 7-2. I'm like, oh, that's a nice lead. But man, those things evaporate in 3 seconds in the NBA these days.
They sure do.
Can you remember growing up watching basketball when it was they would use a lot more of the shot clock. They would take a lot less 3-pointers. If your team was up by 8, you felt good. An 8-point lead in the NBA is gone literally in the time it takes you to pour a drink.
Seriously. No doubt about it. And yes, I do remember. Different days.
Yes, it was so different. It's going to be I know there's probably some younger people watching this video who maybe just don't remember what the NBA was like in the 90s, for example. Before Mike D'Antoni and the Run and Gun Suns, and then obviously Steph Curry and the Warriors, basketball was just different. You tried to get close shots at the hoop. You used a lot more of the 24-second clock. None of this. If you took a shot in the first 5 seconds and it wasn't a good shot, you'd be benched, not encouraged.
So yeah, I'm looking up, just picked a random date. February 23rd, 1995. Here were the scores. 95-93, 91-93, 90-86, 107-92. You had a one game that was 129-103, but 98-86. Yeah, so a lot different for sure.
So almost all those games were sub 200. Look at today's over-unders. 228, 210, 220, 223, 242. It's insane how the NBA has developed. And even though I whine and complain about the referees and what a terrible job they do and how I absolutely hate how offensive players can just throw themselves into the body of a defender and it's called a foul, I mean, this is a more exciting product.
Yeah, for sure. Guys are better offensively, and like you said, the rules are really offensively, tainted to the offense, just like in football.
Yeah, offense is more fun than defense. We all know that. When you watch a baseball game, as beautiful it is to watch a pitcher get in the zone and strike everybody out, a 1-0 baseball game is boring. When you watch a game with 7 home runs, it's just much more appealing to the eyes.
For sure. I do think guys are better offensively now too.
Oh, definitely. We've kind of made talked about Michael Jordan wasn't a very good 3-point shooter. But if Michael Jordan played in the modern NBA, damn well he would have turned himself into a good 3-point shooter.
No doubt about that.
So, all right, guys, that's it for today. We thought we'd get into a little more depth. Usually we keep these pretty quick, but have a little fun, talk about how we're feeling. If you want to sign up for Jazz Sports, the promo code is 5-pack. Let me know when you do so. Make that first deposit, and we'll get you a free 5-pack membership.
Thanks, guys.